Hi, everybody. Dom Douglas here. Phyrexia, all will be one quick draft as we do episode 0 here as a test run to see if I know what I'm doing, folks. That's right. It's going to go up on my YouTube, but you can also check it out on extremetvonline.com, $4.99 a month. First 5 days are free. Also, XWW Wrestling as well, where you can catch the plug, Figure Wrestling Alliance, and many more shows that we put on the YouTube. And that note, let's get to the intro. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Draft 0 for Phyrexia all will be one. I'm a little bit late to the party here on getting this started. I wanted to make sure, first off, my both monitor systems working now, and on top of other things. But wrestling's been kicking off like crazy, and you can tell by my voice. We had just done a Lenny Boy Brewing show yesterday, and before I forget, I'm going to close this door because remember, this is a test run, and I forgot to close the door. Why close the door? Well, it's simple. That the dog that loves to go ballistically crazy for no reason has decided he wants to go ballistically crazy for no reason. That being said, though, quick draft just dropped, I guess, a day or two ago, and we're going to do it. This is on the backup account because this is episode 0. The main, like if you don't know, remember I have multiple Arena accounts, 4 of them to be exact. One I've had since closed beta. The other 3, I guess once a year, almost, or once every year and a half, I make another account, and they grind for gold for just basically to continue my drafting. That's all I do. I'll log in on an account every like 3 days or so, crank the dailies out, get a couple wins, and try to get as much gold as possible. So that being said, quick draft is different than a other traditional draft. You have as much time as possible to make your pick. We can hit the Alt key on the keyboard and see how many of each copy of a card that we currently own, which helps with the vault progress, which basically whenever you crack a vault, you get a couple, I think 1 mythic, 2 rare, and a couple uncommon wild cards that you can use to craft any card of your desire. Simple rules of draft. We open up 3 packs. We pick 1 pack and we pass it to our left on the first turn until that pack is done. Then we open up the second pack, pick a card from that and then pass it to our right until that pack is done. And then open up the third. Once again, pick a card, pass it to your left until that pack is done. You will have 45 cards, give or take, every now and again. And you have to make your best 40 card deck, basic lands included, with those cards that you picked. That being said, the mythic that we opened up, Drivenod Carnage Dominus, 3 and 2 black for an 8/3. If a creature dying caused a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Exile 3 creature cards from your graveyard. Put an indestructible counter on Drivenod Carnage Dominus. It is also, to do that, it's 2 Phyrexian mana. You can either pay a swamp or pay 2 life. I'm going to take it to see what else gets passed to us. Now remember, quick draft is bots. So it's you and 7 other computer-controlled opponents, which is why you have as much time as possible. And for the first few years of Arena, this is the only way you could draft. But we're going to pick it. If this was a fail on a rare, like it was a land or something like that, I can see taking the Reject Imperfection to counter a spell and then possibly proliferate. The Retrofitter also, I could see taking. on top of that, probably the Helm or the Batter Fist. But, you know, we're going to take the Drivnod Carnage Dominus. Great name, by the way. So we have a Distorted Curiosity. Spell costs 2 less if it opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Draw 2 cards. We'll highlight that just in case. We have a Scheming Aspirant, which definitely, if you're proliferating, helps because, you know, it's cheeky and you get to drain your opponent for 2 and gain 2. Awaken the Sleeper is basically like, you know, you can take control of the target creature, but if it's equipped, which is a thing in this draft set, you get to destroy all the equipment on that creature. Basilica Shepherd, Mandible, Duress, Ichor Split. The only other thing I could think of that would be a pick besides the Curiosity is the Thirsting Roots. You know, you can search for a basic land or proliferate, and proliferate is bigger, a much bigger deal than people think, but we're going to take the Distorted Curiosity. Pack number 3 in our first pick, we have a Font of Progress. If we want to go that mill route, which we might because I'm a horrible human being. Meldweb Strider, 5/5 with Vigilance, I mean. Enters the battlefield with an oil counter on it. Remove an oil counter from it, and it becomes an artifact creature till end of turn. Prism is pretty good here. Whisper of the Dross as well. We can kill a 1/1. So at this point, do we want to mill our opponents, or do we want to Whisper of the Dross? I like creature removal better than milling. I just said I'm a horrible human being for milling. I don't like mill as much. This is also really dependent on how many times we can proliferate and put oil counters on it. I want to see if the quick draft respects what Whisper of the Dross can do. And if it makes its way back to us, then it doesn't. But I think it will. So that being said, we did take the font. Chittering Skitterling. It's got Corrupted, sack an artifact or a creature. Draw. Activate if only an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Necrogen Communion. Chance a creature is toxic 2. When it dies, return to the battlefield. Lightbringer. Bring the Ending. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Counter that spell if that's controller has 3 or more poison counters. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Ichor Synthesizer. If it has 4 or more counters, it becomes a 3/3 and it can't be blocked. Ichor Synthesizer is good, but the Skull Bombs are really, really good. And you don't even need to be in the colors for it either. You can return a target creature with this one from a graveyard to your hand and draw a card. Or, you know, we can just sack it and draw a card. That Emergence puts our creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That is crippling. That is a really, for what we're attempting to do on this draft, I think that's a really good choice to take because we can also proliferate. That being said, we're going to have to figure out where our toxic and poison counters are going to be coming from soon. Surgical Spell Bomb. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. We have a Dune Mover, which is one of our toxic ones. We could reject Imperfection or the Dune Mover. But I think we'll come across more Dune Movers than counter spells. We click on this and realize we've only taken 1 creature so far. So we're going to have to work on ourselves here a little bit with the creature count. Animist for comes into play. You can tap it. If we do, we can proliferate. 2/2 flyer, as long as the opponent has 3 or more counters, it has Death Touch and Lifelink. Draw 2, lose 2. Each opponent gets a poison counter. One of these cards is going to make it back to us, and I'm hoping it's the Inquiry or the Vraska's Fall. But right now, because we only have 2 creatures, I'm going to take the Animist. Cutthroat, Eye of Malcator. Scry 2, whenever another artifact becomes under our control, becomes a 4/4 Phyrexian Eye creature till end of turn. We have draw 3 cards, proliferate. We have a cutthroat centurion. Sack another creature or artifact. It gets +2/+2 till end of turn. But I think we take a Dune Mover here. Yeah, I think we take the Dune Mover here just to get another creature up on our board. And we have a third Dune Mover. So blue is pretty open, which is what we can tell right now. Blue, very, very open. Because the Animist, the Retrofitter. I think we could take the Retrofitter here. Now we have some creatures. Mesmerizing Dose. Enters battlefield, tap enchanted creature, then proliferate. And it doesn't untap during your turn. That's kind of removal. Remnarch. Discards a card for each opponent who can't. You gain 4 life. Not a bad card. We could make this, or you know what? I'm gonna go for the removal because we haven't seen any, and the Whisper of the Dross came back to us along with the Prophetic Prism. So that means the AI doesn't really respect Whisper of the Dross at all. Then we could put the Necrogen, Communion, and then we'll pick up another Dune Mover. And we take our first card in the sideboard. Now, Skrivik's Hive. Beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life, and you create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. This is one of those times where you can make a choice. Do you continue? Do we continue the blue-black deck that we have going for us? Or do we start going into white? Because Skrilik's Hive in this format is really, really good, in my opinion. So I think, because, you know, this is the 0 episode, I'm going to take the Skrilik's Hive, and we are going to see if we can get some white cards in here with the toxic mechanic. And we did. We get the Charge of the Mites. That being said, though, we can still go in Esper. We can still go in Esper because we have the 2 Dune Movers. Charge of the Mites. It can deal damage to a creature or a Planewalker equal to the amount of creatures we have, or we can create 2 1/1 colorless Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and it can't block. It can't block. If we take the Immobilizer, we can tap down their things. Ravenous Necro Titan sacks a creature unless an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. When it comes into the field, we have to sacrifice unless they have 3 or more poison counters. Annihilating Glare is a great removal. But I think I'm going to see if Annihilating Glare comes back to us, and we'll take a Charge of the Mites. That being said, I don't think we Font of Progress anymore. And Vat Emergence might not. Another Necro Titan. Bring the End. A Complete Devotion, but I think that will wheel to us. Don't sleep on those lands either. The Dross Pits, these Sphere lands, don't sleep on them either. I've been doing that a little bit too often. If we are in red, Exuberant Fuseling is a great card. I think we take a Necro Titan here. And a Kethic Crucible Goliath, which is a great card to get. And we have to ask ourselves a question. Is there anything else in this deck? Is there anything else in this pack that we would want? Well, we have an Indoctrination Attendant with the Toxic 1, which is one of my favorite cards in the 4-drop slots. I'm not a good drafter, but I do know I do like what I like. We have Necrosquito. 2 oil counters on it. It gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. Whenever another creature or artifact we control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, we can put another oil counter on Necrosquito and it gets bigger. Indoctrination Attendant or the Kethic Crucible Goliath. We are not going into a 4th color. If we were premiering, if we were questing, if you will, for Rares, yeah, we take the Kethic. But I think we want a more solid deck, so we take the Indoctrination Intendant. And this is the funny part. It seems to me we might start shifting out of a lot of blue here. We lose the Animus, the Retrofitter, Reject Imperfection, Mesmerizing Dose. And the thing is, these two are double blue, and you only, if we're going with 3 colors, we can only have one color that needs double pips, if you will. So we're going to get rid of the Dose. We're going to get rid of that. We'll keep the Distorted Curiosity and the Retrofitter. And the Animist does. I think we get rid of the Retrofitter too. No, we don't. Because those mites become 4/4s. And I think we get rid of the Gitaxian Animist at the moment. Now, Bladed Ambassador, Dune Mover. We already have 2. Offer Immortality. We could give another creature Toxic 1. Skull Bomb, off color, but we can still take it. We could do the 4 Mirrodin, but that's the expensive one. The Ambassador, though, we can remove an oil counter from it to give it indestructible till end of turn. But that's a one-shot thing along with Offer Immortality. But we can also do a combat trick with it. So I think we take the Offer Immortality, because that is a combat trick. Draw 2 at the Inquiry. Now we can Inquiry, the Infectious Inquiry, and we can at least get rid of 1 more blue card. Never mind, we got Crawling Chorus, Duelist of Deep Faith here. I once again want to see if it values Crawling Choruses or not. And this equipment is great too, because we do give creatures Toxic 1, but I think we give the Duelist of Deep Faith and see if it rewards us with the Chorus. Magnetic Sprinter isn't as good as you think it is. It is a repurposed, reinforced Ronin, so it always has to bounce back into your hand. Vivisection Evangelist has 3 or more poison counters on it, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Necrogen Rot Priest, if we were in green-black, this is a uncommon signpost. That basically means this is a card that you would want to pick, and it makes the Toxic deck work. Unfortunately, we're not there, and we pivoted. We could take the Vivisection Evangelist because we're in white-black. And I think we can probably finally get rid of the blue. Do we take another Infectious Inquiry? I know we have 2 Dune Movers as well, but we're using those bad boys for Toxic. Sinew Dancer. We're doing Toxic, so Sinew Dancer is actually really good. Annihilating Glare. We get 1. So we can do that. And if we have a Skull Bomb on the field, we can get rid of it as well. Stinging Hive Master replaces itself with a 1/1 Might. So I think we do that because we're going into Toxic here. As long as an opponent has Death Touch and Lifelink. We'll put that in the sideboard for now. We'll put the Ascent in the side. And the Counterspell. So we would have had a pretty good blue here, but here's the Mirrex. Ooh. All right, so we have Scriv's Hive. We have the Mirrex. All right, Mirrex. We can add 1 colorless or add 1 mana of any color, but we can only do it if it entered the battlefield this turn. So after the turn it comes into play, you can only tap it for colorless. But we can tap 3 and tap it to create a 1/1 colorless Might on top of Scriv's Hive. We're hoping Ossification comes back, or Plated Onslaught, or Sinew Dancer. So I like half of this pack, but I think we got to take the Mirrex. We have a Drowning Ichor, which is much better as we take a look at our 9 creatures. Drowning Ichor is really good because that's another piece of removal. And worst case, we can get rid of a Whisper of the Dross. But because we got into the game so late with the white, we're going to have to start kind of prioritizing creatures, because I would love to take this Mind Splice apparatus, and that just tells me we would have had a really good blue. And this is once again where you can make another choice. You can make another decision. Do we splash blue for Mind Splice? Because we get to put an oil counter on it, and the instant sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast for each oil counter on it. But I think we have to take a discipline pick here. We have to. This is where the official line in the sand, and you really don't want to be drawing a line in the sand on pack 3. Pick 3. You want to have, in your mind way earlier where you're going. But I think we got to take the Hive Master and live to regret it. Apostle of Invasion, that's a game ender. It gets double strike if they have more than 3 poison counters on it, and that's definitely something we would like to be doing. That being said, we can get rid of Necrogen Communion and take a look at our deck right now and see if there's anything that we could possibly get rid of. And we accidentally got a little bit of a wombo combo here with Drivnod on the Hive Masters. Oh, also, Crawling Chorus did not come back to us. So, yeah, the AI definitely prioritizes Crawling Chorus. We'll take the Apostle of Invasion, and that is our top end. If this was on paper, this draft would have been radically different. Radically different, because this is all blue pack here. So I think we got to take the Ickermoon Gauntlet, because it's a mythic, and it's a really good card. I don't know how much this is on paper, but if this was passed to me, which it wouldn't on pack 5, unless it was like a really disciplined pod, I'm taking that. Against all odds. Exile target artifact or creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control, or return target artifact or creature with mana value 3 or less from the battlefield. So it's a toss between that or the Mandible Justicar with lifelink, and occasionally gets pumped. Do we have any mirrors? We do not have any mirrors, so we can't. Taking the Kinsmith might not be the best choice. But we'll put Against All Odds in there as a flicker effect, because we can bounce a creature and put it right back in. Fleshless Gladiator. How many creatures are we at right now? 11. As this pack is slowly winding down. So we have Fleshless Gladiator. You lose 1 life. Return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. Halfway decent sack outlet. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. When you do, target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Okay. But I think we could... I think we Prophetic Prism here. Basilica Spellbomb. Draw a card, activate. Conviction. But I think this time we have to take the Fleshless Gladiator. That'll give us 12 creatures. You want to have 14 creatures around on average. But here's a Gulping Skull Scrap Trap. I like the Plated Onslaught. This is the pack that we opened up on this one. Affinity for artifacts. Creatures we control get +2/+1 till end of turn. A lot of the cards I wanted to see didn't come back to us. But Gulping Skull Trap is actually a really good card. Because when it enters the battlefield or dies, we proliferate. Now, I think it's the time we take a Complete Devotion, because it gives a creature we control +2/+2 till end of turn, and if it has Toxic, we draw a card. So, we take that, and I think we could probably... Can't get rid of a Dune Mover. I think we have enough card draw. No, that gives poison counter. Never mind. I think we can get rid of that Emergence, because I'm starting to realize I know it's probably a bad thing to get rid of, but we have such a depth at the 5+ drop slot. We don't usually want that many. Like on 5+, you want like maybe 2 or 3 cards, and they have to be game enders. Apostle of Invasion's a game ender. Vivisection is removal. Gulping Skull Trap actually proliferates, but Drivnod is a game ender. So we have 2 game enders and 2 like tricky cards. I'm gonna hit our Alt key here and see what we have. All right, I will take the Necrogen Communion. Incisor Glider. When it attacks, if opponent has 3 or more creatures you control, get +1/+1 till end of turn. I kind of like that. That means we will have to get rid of 1 card, I think. Because I like to have 24 cards. 24 spells and 16 lands. That's how I usually like it. I don't know. That's just me. I know everybody got a different playstyle, and that's what makes this game beautiful to me 30 years later. As we regretfully look at our blue spells that we did not get. How many double pips? We have more double pips. And a pip is, see how it's 3 black on Drifnod? That's called a pip. So 2 double pips. We have 2 spells that require 2 black mana and 1 spell that requires 2 white. So I'm going to cut a swamp. No, I'm going to cut a plains. And then we can type in T double dots CRE, C-R-E, and that's going to put our creatures on the top and our spells on the bottom. You notice that we have 14 creatures. We could theoretically say we have 15 with the Charge of the Mites. Being said, we have to drop down to 40 cards. You could make an argument 41 might be good, but that would be a land. So we have to look at what we have. Skull Bomb, card draw replaces itself, or we can return a card from graveyard or hand. Annihilating Glare is great removal, so we'll put that to the side. We'll put Whisper of the Dross because it could be removal for 1/1s. Drown and Ichor is also removal. And theoretically, Charge of the Mites could be removal as well. So we have a choice between card draw and Inquiry, returning an artifact or creature, exiling a creature, so bouncing something, or returning an artifact or creature with mana value 3 or less. So we could get back a Prophetic Prism, a Skull Bomb, and then a fair amount of our creatures. So that's going to stay. We draw 2, lose 2. Each opponent gets a poison counter. I don't want to get rid of that. We can't get rid of Skrillex Hive. Offer Immortality might be the one. The combat trick to get rid of. Because we have plenty of removal. This would theoretically act as removal piece number 5. Yeah, I think we get rid of that. Might not be the best play. Who knows? But at the moment, I think we have our deck. And we look at this crazy, stupid, good blue pool that we had going for us. Look at this. We had a tap down. We didn't get any Planeswalkers, so that was just a greed pick. You know, the other cards that we passed up, we had 2 counter spells too, but I'm happy and okay with this as we get ready to play some games, folks. What do you say? Where are we going? Are we batting? We play until we lose 3 times. So, how many wins do I think I'm going to get with this deck? I think we're going to get, I'm hoping for 4. We get 4 wins, I'm going to be a happy guy. 4 wins and I will be totally happy here. As we have our opponent for the first round ready to go. We have a Dune Mover, so we can get our white land. Normally, I wouldn't want to keep that, but we have Dune Mover in the Mirrex. And never got punished. And we can also Whisper. See, this is why we kept Whisper. I can't have them gaining life with the Justicar. Can't have that happening. Oh, I did not want to you know what? I'm cool with that. Because we can do the Incisor Glider. And then turn 3, we can... Actually, we should have Skrillex hived. We should have Skrillex hived. Skrylev's hive. Alright, well, let's see what happens when we Skrylev's hive now. Do we attack? That's the question. No attack, because we're going to have to block. Maybe. This is rough. You know what? No blocks. Let's see how many times they can proliferate off us. No. No. Oh, no. Oh, no, SpongeBob. We could... double Dune Mover here. Double Dune Mover. Then we'll get a swamp for us. I think we are safe on attacking. Because we can take the Hive Master damage and then just double block the Head Cleaver and get like a piece of removal out from them. Or they can just do that. Just attacking with that. I see it. And then Lightbringer. What's Doom Mover? Oh, okay. So we got our next couple of draws. So we can, Indoctrination Attendant, bounce the Doom Mover. We can finally... I think we... I think we get in. I think we try to get in there. I think we try to get in there. Their own glider. Now we have that. Now we can just, Domination Carnage. We can't activate it yet. But, I'm happy with doing that. Let's get him some poison. Ooh. But why didn't they want to block that? Let's get some poison in there. Now they have 2 poison counters. Because the way Toxic works is, we'll just highlight the might. It's Toxic 1, 1, 1. Deals a point of damage to an opponent. And then you get a poison counter on top of that. So we are down to 7 life here. And it's going to fade fast. We are going to fade fast. So we have to... I think Duelist of Deep Faith. Yeah, I think we have to Duelist Deep Faith. We might just have to kill them in one go. So I like the Norn's Wellspring. Do they attack with the Glider? Do not. We're going to activate the Merrick's. Infectious Inquiry. Alright, so we would have 3 blocks with the Mites. We drop 2. I think we attack with Duelist. Yeah, I think we do that. See what happens. Because they have to block. And then we click next. We're not winning these fights here. So now they have 5. And we can Dune Mover. can decline it. End the turn. Draw a Skull Bomb. Is that returning a creature from the graveyard to the hand? Alright. So they're going to bring back the Mandible Justicar? Wow. Wow. But do they play the Justicar? But I don't think that matters much. I don't think it matters. We can get rid of the Justicar. We can get rid of the Justicar. And that's got Toxic. And this has Toxic. Oh no, I think we did it. I think we got there. I think we got there. Even if they block, I think we got there. You've got to be kidding me. We got there. Oh, they have 9 poison counters. Oh, and we win. And we win. We win with poison. And we pulled it out right over butts. Skrylev's Hive putting some work in, folks. Skrylev's Hive putting work in on that win. Look at that. Can't believe we just did that. I can't believe. Once again, though, you know, Dune Mover helping us with getting definitely helping us getting some good stuff. Some smoothing out our land draws. Now, that being said, if we get a Plains, I think we delay the Dune Mover. But if we don't get anything, we don't delay the Dune Mover. Thirsting Roots, I was talking about that card. You can either proliferate or fix your mana. Alright, so I think we got a Dune Mover here. And then use its ability to get a Plains. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So I'm going to attack with the Dune Mover. Because it's done its job. Yeah, it's dead. It's not. So I think we Stinging Hive Master. I still can't believe that game won. Holy. Ooh. Is this a combat trick? That is a combat trick, folks. I think we hold off on it. They let it through? Yeah, I'll put Dune Mover back. They have 3 poison counters. We have a Whisper of the Dross. Liquor Split Basilisk with the Death Touch. So they swing in for the 2/2. They don't. Well, we're going to Dune Mover for a Plains, so we can get Apostle Invasion. Then, we mass attack. And whatever they want to kill, they want to try to kill our 3/4. That would be the optimal line. We're going to give them another poison counter on the proliferate. We do a massively good trade. Now they're up to 5 poison counters. I feel bad for them because they've had to artfully dodge the mana issues they've had. But I have a bad feeling they're not going to like this Apostle of Invasion at all. So they're finally getting in for 2, which is lifelink, I think? No. Unless they're going to give it lifelink. I don't know what... Yeah. Unless they just wanted to swing sideways, which I can't blame them. I cannot blame them for. And I think we just come out swinging. We haven't even used the Phyrexia yet. And I think we should have last turn. Yeah, they gotta block the big one. Unless they pump up the Siphoner to kill our Indoctrination Attendant. Yep. We get 2 more poisons. And then we Apostle Invasion. And I don't know if they know what it does, but they're highlighting the card right now to make sure it's got double strike. So if they have a removal spell, it's gotta go Apostle Invasion's way. Getting the GG. Good game. Good game. Opponent, we got there again. Apostle Invasion was one of our bombs, but I felt bad for them because they did have a lot of mana issues that game, and they did their best. But you apparently, at least in our first 2 games so far, the Orzhov toxic proliferate deck is doing its thing. Or should we just call it a Scriv's Hive deck? So also, I don't know if it's the camera's gonna pick up these cards well. I have some ideas in mind for a stupid standard deck involving all of these. Every single one of those cards. A very stupid standard deck. Now, we have nothing but our black spells. We have a Draw Skull Bomb and a Prophetic Prism. This is a very shaky keep, but if it was on paper, I wouldn't be keeping this. But we're not in paper at the moment. We are playing online, and I want to be a little bit more aggressive, especially with this deck. Thirsting Roots, so they're going to search again for a land, probably the second color that they need. It's a red. Huh, are they oil? Alright, so that's not good. But we're going to Prophetic Prism to draw a card. Okay, what does this got? Okay, untap target land. We got a Stinging Hive Master, so we are now officially in a little bit of trouble here. Although, we could always Sinew Dancer, cheat it out with the Prophetic Prism. But I don't know if I want to do that. Now they're going to tap it to untap that forest. Using the Rustvine Cultivator, one of its oil counters on it to untap target land, because that's what it does. Untap the forest, bring in a 3-drop. Yep. Now bring in your 3-drop. Phyrexian Atlas. Ooh, I like this. I'm going to like this game, even if we are in a very bad spot and we lose. I think, though, we have to sacrifice the Skull Bomb to draw a card and hope that it's a land. And it is. Alright. Now, the shenanigans with the Cultivator has to stop. Has to stop. There are much better targets for Drown and Ichor, but much better targets. But once again, foot on the gas, and they're at 4 lands. They haven't missed a land drop. We have. They are ramping into a big spell next turn, because that is 7 land. 7 land coming out. So I think we got a Stinging Hive Master here as a chump block, or if we get a land out, we can Necro Titan. But I want to see what our opponent brings out this turn. That's now 8 lands. 8 land. What am I about to get hit with? Tyrannus Rex. Tyrannus Rex. Just gonna give him the good GGs right there, folks. Good game. I have no way to stop that card. So what happened? I knew a big spell was coming. Tyrannus Rex. 8/8 trample, ward 4, haste, toxic 4. The spell can't be countered. So if I want to use a kill spell on it, and it's like a 3-drop kill spell, I have to pay 4 extra land to even be able to target Tyrannus Rex. Then, because it's an 8/8 with trample, no matter what, it's dealing combat damage. So I would get hit for 5, but I would also be getting 4 toxic counters. I would be dead, like my life total would be at 0 before they got the 10 toxic, but I had 1 turn left, and there was no way that card was leaving the field. And I kind of like the fact that we just got stomped by Tyrannus Rex. Tyrannix, or whatever it's got, like Tyrannix, I think, Rex. Yeah. Ooh. Such a great card. So our opponent played that beautifully. Played it beautifully. As we wait for round 4 to begin. It's best of 1 here, too. I don't like the traditional draft on this, because you only play like 4 games tops. I'm always you do get to traditional side where it's best 2 of 3. So that's why you only get to play 4 games, because still you're playing 8. But the rewards are more skewered, where if I go like mid and do like 3 and 3, I still get some reward, whereas if I like go 2 and 2, I barely get anything in traditional. That being said, they go first. We have not the best start, but we are on the draw. We got lands finally this time. We have the Myrix, so I'm hoping for Skrillex Rex. I don't know, Skrill's Hive. Skrill's Hive. It's only a 1/1. Alright, it's not a Skrill's Hive. It doesn't have toxic. No. I at least want to get a creature out. No pumps. Bring in their 2-drop. No, I'm sorry, 3-drop. They were on the play first. This card, Contagus Vorak, is a beast of a card in this format. Look at top 4 cards, reveal a land card, put the rest on the bottom. It is stupid good in this format. That being said, I think we have to drown and Ichor it with no proliferating happening. I can't take 5 damage. Interesting. Alright, so here's something interesting. We're going to put Indoctrination Attendant in unless it gets countered. Oh, I should put the Dune Mover in first. Well, let's get the might. I mean, it was good timing, but they're going to hold up all their lands. They're 4-color? What does this do? Flying Toxic 1. You make pay 2 if you do proliferate. They're going about this proliferating in a weird, weird way. So let's Ravenous Necro Titan. And we'll sack our Might. Does it die immediately is the question. Dies immediately. Alright, that's the good game. They had too much advantage at that point. They had 4 damage coming, proliferating. And all we had was nothing left. No hopes, no dreams. And they had probably at least 2 more pieces of removal in their hand. And you could say, that was a quick concede. And I'll give you that, maybe. But I just know I'm not going to win that game. It's much better just to concede and move on to the next, especially if you're playing best 2 out of 3, because remember, you only have 50 minutes in person on paper to get your round done. You have to play 3 games in that. Now, if you go past the 50-minute mark, it immediately goes into something called turns. Whereas once the clock starts and it's my turn and the clock ends and the round ends, I'm on turn 0. Then when I pass the turn, it's on my opponent is now on turn 1. You have 5 total turns combined between both players to end the game or draw. So in a scenario like that, I don't want my opponent trying to stall for time or lose any more time than I could in the next couple of rounds. Glider, Sinew, Charge, Stinging Hivemaster. I like this. I like the start. I like this start. They have the Fair Basilica coming into play tapped. We have Sinew Dancer. Now let's see what they do. Duelist of Deep Faith. This feels so bad, but it is a double strike on. It is a first strike on their turn. Right now, we're just kind of more traditional 20 life down. And another Duelist of Deep Faith, but they missed a land drop. They missed a land drop. Ooh. Alright. I'm cool with Stinging Hivemaster. And if they attack with it, I'm cool with it getting in. It's got Toxic 1, yeah. I'm cool with it getting in. Flying Toxic 1, got it. I think, though, we charge the Mites, the Duelist. You swing in with the Hivemaster. Getting in for 3 and a poison. Now their Summoner, Siphoner, has Toxic 1. They're tired of missing land drops. And they hit one. They hit 4. Are they getting rid of the Sinew Dancer? No, or are they just checking to make sure? Yeah, they were just checking. That being said, land 5, Incisor Glider, yeah, I think we just double attack here. And then draw 2, lose 2, and give them a poison counter so we can have Sinew Dancer online now to tap down things for only 1 mana. So now we have a good block, even though it does have Doom Mover. Okay. We have an Annihilating Glare in hand. Cool. We can draw Skull Bomb, Annihilating Glare. We can also tap down with the Sinew Dancer. Alright. We'll bring in a Duelist. And now we're going to give all of our creatures that attack +1/+1 till end of turn. Because Incisor Glider is viable. They don't have any really good blocks here. So what are they thinking of? Do they have that spell that gives it indestructible and death touch? Or even giving something +1/+1. Or the one that draws a card. They've gone next. Complete Devotion. Okay, saw that coming. Not indestructible as well, I think. No, it doesn't. But they did get to draw a card. So now, they can draw a Skull Bomb. End the turn. Put a stop on theirs. Activate. Tap the Siphoner. Listen, Sunslayer is really good too. See what they got going. Then we're gonna sack the draw Skull Bomb to draw a card. Tap down their Sinew. Tap down their Glissa. Tap down Glissa. Scissor Glider activates, gives everything +2/+2. Gives them another counter. They're down to 1. We are going to Stringing Hive Master. Then we're going to Annihilating Glare. They're Glissa. I didn't see the line just then. We could have won the game on that turn. Never mind, we got there, folks. That misplay almost cost me, I thought. I could have just basically what I could have done was use the Annihilating Glare, sacking the Might, getting rid of their Glissa, and then attacking. And that would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I was still down to 7, so I still would have had him down to 1, but the line was a little weird, but I did not want Glissa attacking. And I wanted to get the damage in and then sacrifice it using the Might. But we got 3 wins. We are 3-2, so no matter what, we're 500. Folks, we are 500 win streak. Alright, Complete Devotion, Prophetic Prism, draw Skull Bomb, Scriv's Hive, here we go. Scriv's Hive's been an all-star. They got their Doom Mover, so they're going to probably find either their 3rd color or a Plains. Alright, so, Scriv's Hive. Done. Give me that Toxic Wand. Duels of Deep Faith. That means we're gonna have to do some stuff here. And that's not doing stuff. That's not doing stuff at all. I can't. All right. Well, we do have the Complete Devotion, so we're gonna get lumped here. But I'd rather draw a card. Because remember, we can turn this around. We can turn this around. We can turn this around. Turn around. Alright. Alright. We can... I think we got a Stinging Hive Master. We need blocks. We need a blocker. No attacks. We need a blocker for the Doom Mover, yeah. So we're still 2, we're at 5. We got a Might of our own. So we're going to have 4 mites on the field, so they're going to need a creature of some sort. And that's a head cleaver. Alright, so. Myrix. Dune Mover. Take that action. Get that. Then. Combat with the 3 mites. Get it blocked by a head cleaver. Drown in Ichor, the head cleaver, to maximize our proliferate. We got a block, and we got to make sure it's Duelist of Deep Faith that gets blocked, and not the Blight Belly Rat. So now we're at 6. Uh-oh. I should have brought Sinew Dancer out last turn. Oops. Alright, so we know about that. So let's bring in Sinew Dancer. And a value 3 or less. And we have to, against all odds, the Hive Master. And it's going to block the Duelist. One. Well, yeah, Sinew's going to have to block. So that's... Yeah. Let's see what happens. Alright. So. Sinew blocks the Blight Belly. That blocks that. We're going to have 5 mites, 4 that can attack on the field. We're at 7. Infected Flesh Cutter. We're at 4 mites that can attack. We have a... Let's attack with the 4 mites. We gotta make him. We gotta give a +2/+2 and draw there. Now they're at 9. If we Whisper of the Dross, we can win. Alright, we have to at least do this. We have to at least give ourselves a chance to get a proliferate. And it's abominable. So now we have to bring in this. The Fleshless Gladiator. Ooh. I can't kill the Blight Belly Rat. Oh my god, we got there! They didn't have an answer. Skrellig's Hive putting in monster amounts of work here. Monster amounts of work. Monstrous amounts of work by the Hive. The Might Hive, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on here? So yeah, as I alluded to earlier, Pyrrhic Blast, sack a creature, deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, draw a card. Heavyweight Demolisher is a 7-drop, which is an 8/6 with Menace. You can unearth for 6, 2, and 2 red. Cradle Clear Cutter is a 6-drop that's either a 3/6 or for Prototype, it's a 1/3 and it's 2 and a green, but you can tap to add amount of green mana equal to its power. Then we have Rust Goliath, which is either a 10/10 reach trample for 10 mana or Prototype 3, 2 green for a 3/5. Depth Charge Colossus is 9 for a 9/9, or 4 and 2 blue for a 6/6, and then Shu Chi Cave Guard. When it dies, add 8 colorless mana. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Okay, I like this because we can turn 2 Duelist of Deep Fate with our Mirrors. And then hope to get it going. Now, that being said, if we get a Plains, we just play the Plains and save the Mirrors for later. I love this Goblin card. But you know what? I think we do Mover and find our Plains. I think we do move, find the Plains, and see where it takes us from here. So yeah, the whole concept of that deck that I showed you with those cards being in there, Pirate Blast somebody for 10, then bring it back and then do it again. Now they have the First Strike thing. They have the Pump Spell. There's no reason for that attack. So we Duelist the Deep Faith. And then we try to get in for 2 of our own with 1 Toxic. And we got there. Now, Fuseling enters a battlefield, or when another creature or artifact is put into a graveyard from a battlefield, put an oil counter on it. You can also oil counter, just put random oil counters on that as well. I'm not falling for the trick. I'm not falling for the trap. There's no reason to attack with a 1/1. Because then what do? Well, we only have 1 white spell. That's 2 pips. So I think we play the Mirrors this turn. And just either protect our Duelist. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Yeah, I like that much better. We're going to Draws, Skull Bomb, and then not even use our Merrics like we wanted to. So now we're going to get tagged for a bit, I think. That could have been a misplay on my end. But I at least wanted to get their Hive Master out, because either way, I'm getting Toxic 1, but I'd rather take 2 less points of actual damage, considering Fuseling is about to pop off, I feel. Centurion? Alright. Put an oil counter on it, and then when it attacks, remove 2. Target creature can't block this turn. Let's get that card draw now. Dune Mover, okay. We're 1 poison counter away. Let's see if Duelist of Deep Faith can get in. Because if Duelist of Deep Faith gets in and they get 3 poison counters, then we Vivisection Evangelist. Love it when a plan comes together. Love it when a plan comes together. You love to see it sometimes, folks. You love to see it. Because that card, the Fuseling is such a potent card. You have to get rid of it. Now our opponent is in deep thought with the Blight Belly Rat. Which one dies proliferate, but we're kind of winning that fight right now. Because I don't even know if they know about Drivnov, the Carnage Dominus. Do I have 3 creatures in there? Nope. You know, I think we just Drivnov, Carnage Dominus. It's an 8-3. Then I'm going to attack with these two. If both of them die, Dominus is getting a indestructible counter on it. But we're also putting him to the test because no matter what they block with the Centurion or the Blight Belly, with Duelist it dies and our Duelist stays. And the Evangelist has Vigilance, so it can attack whenever. Like, it can always attack, so I'm putting the onus on them. I think they saw the line, though, that I was trying to go for. So they block with the Centurion, which doesn't have First Strike. They probably have the spell that gives a creature First Strike. Yeah. No, they pumped it up. They pumped it up. Interesting. So now one of my creatures can't attack. They could probably kill the Dominus now. But they're down to 10. Yeah, they had to. They had to kill that thing. And then they can attack with the Centurion, make my Evangelist not block, but I'm screwed. Okay then. Okay then. That's a risky attack. I think we do a mover. Let's take that action. Then we charge the Mites, their Forge Hammer. Alright. They're in a bad spot. We got a 4/4 Vigilance, a 2/1 that can block their Blight Belly Rat. No way to get around making things unblockable. So they have to heavily remove because that 1/1 Mite can't block. Just so you know, this creature can't block. They are now deep, 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 deep in the tank. Cruel Grimnock. Nice 4 life gain. Grimnark's good for that, but they know I have the planes in hand, so if they have a second one, I'm getting rid of the planes. Dune Mover can block the Grimnark. Then we're going to Mirrex. A 1/1. Their own Drevnov. Interesting. And they have enough to activate it. Stinging Hive Master. Block. Actually, that can happen at any time. The Drivnov can happen at any time. Yeah, and they have 3 creatures in the grave. So this is a great game. They swing out with the entire attack. All right. We're going to make them do it. We're going to make them put the indestructible counter on it. That's the only time they can do it. It's gonna lose it. We got a mite. We're gonna make another one. Alright. Well. Alright, good game. Good game. We drew lands. We drew lands. I probably misplayed once or twice that last game, but man. Folks. Skrillex Hive is no joke in this format. The Hive is no joke in this format. As my dog is going ballistic because it probably saw something outside. Alright, we got 4 wins. That means we get 450 gems and a pack. You do get less packs on your wins and less gems because it only costs 750. Whereas if this was a premiere where, you know, it's drafting with human players, I would get I think 1400 gems for 4 wins, which is basically the draft cost me 100 gems. You really don't make them, you don't get there until 5 wins, and even then you only spend 100 gems. You don't win back until the 6th win. Whereas with Premier, if I'm not mistaken, 5 wins get you there. But let's claim our prize. 2 packs of Phyrexia, all will be won. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dom Douglas for episode 0 of Phyrexia All Will Be Won drafts here. We did a quick draft because it's episode 1 just to make sure everything is going all right. And I think so far it has. Don't forget, ExtremeTVOnline.com, $4.99 a month. First 5 days are free. You get all the XWW action, casino nights, hacks, our special events at the end of the month. We have podcasts. We have video versions. We have the plug that you can also catch, not only on YouTube, which is XWW Wrestling on YouTube, but also on, as I said, the Extreme TV Online Network. Podcasts, Bumps and Brews, Smash the Mat, bunch of other stuff. Constant content coming out, folks, for you. $4.99 a month. First 5 days are free. What are you waiting for? And this has been a magic video with Dom Douglas. And as always, may your... screw that up. It's been a while. And may your top deck always be mythic.